to GESP Podcast. We are here to reimagine the playing field in women's sports with female game changers. My name is Ruza FA Serbia grassroots manager, sports industry specialist, and former football referee. Let's empower the girls with this episode, and big round of applause for my next guest. Hi guys, it's Ruza here again. Super happy to host another phenomenal lady from sports. Today, as a part of the GESP podcast series, I have a pleasure to host Marija Nikolova, the basketball player herself, and the student. So welcome to GESP Podcast. I'm happy to have you to discuss the world of women's sports, women basketball, and to reimagine the playing field with the support of our partners and with this project that is co-financed by European Union. So dear Marija, welcome to GESP Podcast.
Hi, welcome everybody. First, I want to say it's a great pleasure of mine to be invited to discuss on a topic like this, and I think it's very fun. And I think that not many people talk or know about this topic, particularly in sports. So I think it will be very fun to talk about it.
Thanks a lot. So before we continue and dig deep into some tough subjects and discuss some really hard challenges we face in women's sports, can you briefly tell us what you're doing at the moment regarding sports besides playing basketball? What is your position? What are your dreams?
I'm a playmaker, so I'm a point guard. Right now I'm in Skopje. I play for Basket.com, but I'm planning on going in Valencia in September to play there.
Woohoo! Congrats!
Thank you. This year we won the senior championship title in Macedonia and the junior championship where I won the MVP.
Congratulations.
So that's pretty much it. Thank you.
The way how you said it's pretty much it, it's like it's nothing. So we have a super humble Marija here because this is not humble. Nothing. I mean, you are MVP. This is something to really highlight and praise. But when did you fall in love with basketball? How did it become the most important thing in your life?
That's a very interesting subject to talk about because when I was born, my father wanted a son to play basketball because my father is a basketball player. And he was like, oh, it's a girl. What will she do? She'll be a ballerina or something. And when I was about 5 or 6, because he had a basketball club, and he brought me to the first game there. And I immediately started dribbling, shooting, and he was like, oh, maybe she can play too. She can ball. And he started training me, taking me to individual practices. And later, when I was 11, 12, I started playing in the junior leagues with the boys and girls mixed up. And when I was 14, I started playing professionally.
Wow. Well, we can see clearly it runs in the family. It's from the genes.
Yes, definitely.
So basketball was really big deal and big thing in your family. And this is I can relate to because sometimes I feel like I'm a son in my family as somebody who's this involved in football. So I can relate about being both son and a daughter at the same time.
Yes, and plus I'm the oldest. So I'm definitely the son in the family.
Yes, this is really phenomenal. I like it. But now when you are this good in basketball and through all these years of training, how did this affect your relationship with your dad and his relationship towards girls in sports? Because I mean, basketball was never that much okay. It is treated more as a male sport, but it was never dominant sport. It was always we could see through competitions, through college leagues, through universities, through schools, everywhere that basketball is not that much treated as just, let's say, men's game. So how this process of yours and progress of yours, which is really phenomenal because you're about to move to one of the most successful countries when we speak about women's game, men's game too. and you're going to play in a really phenomenal club and reach some really really high level of the professional sport. So how you can explain now your relationship with your father that developed in the meantime, and also his relationship towards women's basketball?
Well, we definitely got much closer once I started playing basketball because I saw my father as my role model. And we pretty much spent all day, every day together. From the gym, when I went to school, I went to the gym before school, after school, in between classes. He's a teacher at my school, so I had the gym whenever I wanted it. But now as I get older, sometimes he forgets that he's my father, not my coach, because it's like he's living his dreams through me,
you.
through my through me, through my career, through my games, and he takes it very personally and very passionately. It's like when I have a bad game, I'm upset, but he's more upset than me. It's like we fight about it, but I know that he has the best in store for me, and he thinks, oh, of course, the best for me.
Of course, he loves you the most. That's not even a question. But do you feel sometimes that it's a pressure above the pressure in your life?
Yes, sometimes it is, because he's trained me my whole life, and he knows what I can and what I can do. And when I don't deliver to his expectations, obviously there's like a conflict. I can explain to him, like, I'm a girl. Sometimes I'm not feeling well, or I have my period, or hormones, or something like that.
Exactly.
And he can't understand that because he's a boy and he has a male
perspective
approach to male perspective, male approach, because he's a boy. What does he know about periods and mood swings and it's not my day or I'm not feeling well? I can't explain that to him because in his mindset is either you play or you don't play.
It's just so I think go big or go home.
Yes, go big or go home. Play every game like it's your last. That's what he says all the time.
Kind of that.
Yes, exactly. So I think he's still developing or that part, the understanding that I'm a girl, I'm a woman, and that's mostly the things that we fight about and what he needs to work on.
Exactly. It's always a two-way street. And sometimes I like to say when we have a pressure from people who we look up to, like role models, like you said for your father, when we have a, let's say, additional pressure from them, we know that it comes from the most pure emotions. And even though, okay, he may be living his dream through you, but still he's your father. He adores you and he wants the best for you. So he's probably frustrated when he thinks that that's something that you may not get, or it's maybe something is compromising in there. But in the end, there is also the positive side of that. It's not that I'm saying this is the best way possible to do, to coach and be a father and everything, but there is also something that calls it's building your competitive side of your game.
Yes.
It's also helping you to become stronger and to, let's say, build your resilience, because the pressure and expectations that are waiting you in future career are way higher than what you're dealing with your dad. So maybe he's preparing you quite well, but that doesn't mean that you do not deserve a bit of understanding when you need it. I also have that with my father when I come home from busy day. Instead of asking me, how are you? How do you feel? Was it all good today? He's like, what did you do at this task? What did you do at that task? It's like you come from work to somebody to report about your work. It's like, but it's because the football is our common thing, it's like the same with you and your dad, where basketball is your connection. So it's the same because this is the language we both understand, and I also believe that having the same passion as your father, as a daughter, as a female child, really helps in building that strong connection with your dad. And I'm just like you, the oldest. I'm also daughter and everything else, so I can literally relate to everything you were telling me. I mean, right now, my father was not my coach, but I feel I I think sometimes of him as my manager, like Papager.
Yeah, exactly. So it's tough love.
Yes,
Tough love, we'll call it.
tough love. But let's say like that. We do know it comes from the purest emotions, so we do forgive.
Yes.
At,
Yes, we do forgive.
We do forgive, but we also require some more support and more nicer
Yes,
approach to
understanding.
us. Yes. So how do you feel about moving to Spain now? Is it something that frightens you? Is it something that motivates you? How do you feel? Because September is and is quite. It looks like it's far, but it's near. It's closer than we think. So how do you feel about that transition?
Yes, time flies. Time flies. So I don't know if I'm scared. I think I'm just excited about the new things that are about to come. It's my dream to play abroad since I was a child, and it's all I've ever talked about, even at home with my friends, that I really want to play basketball at the highest level. Pro, maybe not WNBA, but Europe,
But why
EuroLeague,
not?
something like that.
Why
That's
not
my dream.
WNBA?
I don't like America, personally. I mean, I would go visit it like a couple of days maybe, but to stay there, to play there, to live there, I don't know. I think it's just a next level, and I'm not ready for that level yet. Maybe I will change my mind, but for now, I think Europe is enough.
Yes, but if we see the schedule works for you in terms of you can play both, you can be part of the WNBA and also play in Europe because the season is different. So and there are so many players in from Europe who also have some roles in United States. I mean, also a lot of the U.S. basketball players played in Europe, so it is something to maybe consider in the future. But I do
Yeah,
understand you
maybe in
now.
the future.
Yes, I do understand you now. And if we are honest, European leagues in female basketball, especially the highest level, are really tough ones. So you definitely have a chance to develop and progress and learn a lot. I also I like to take the example of former Serbian national team player Sonja Vasic back Petrovic.
Sonia.
Yes, she had extraordinary years in Spain, and Spain really helped her game. So I also consider this as a really good move for yourself. And your excitement can be felt in your voice, in your smile, and
Yes.
this is really nice. And this is something to try to keep within you, to keep that joy, to keep that love for the game. But when we speak about that joy, do you still feel like when you were a young girl? Do you still feel that you're that much in love with the game?
Yes, I still think that I love the game that much, but as I get older, I think I see it from a different perspective. Because when
Can
I
you
was
explain
younger, it
those
was,
perspectives?
yes, when I was younger, it was all fun and games. You win or you lose. But now it's like more tactics, offenses, other defenses, like more complicated things. You don't just look at the game as fun, but you have to think. You have to know when to score, when to drive, when to shoot. It's it's different now, but it's still fun.
Well, when we speak about fun, you are as a playmaker, you're super creative. So it means that a lot of things are coming in the attack are coming from your organization of that.
Yes.
So my question to you would be: do you still feel that you have a freedom in that creativity, or game is starting to actually narrow you down to what coaches want, what everything about the opponent in terms of just getting their weak sides and so on? Do you still feel that sometimes you can just do what you want to do and what you feel that it's the right thing to do in that attack?
Actually, this is a very interesting topic that you just mentioned because I never wanted to be a playmaker. I wanted to be a shooting guard. When I first started playing professionally, I was a shooting guard until I came to Basketcom, where I play now. We had a male coach. He was training males, boys, but he came to our team to help. So I don't know what he saw in me, like some potential, and he forced me to play a playmaker, to organize the game. I was crying every single practice because he was only yelling at me. I was the youngest, and I didn't know as much as the older girls did, but he was yelling at me every practice, pushing me to my limits. But I wouldn't change anything about it now, because I'm so grateful that he did that, because not only it made me stronger, it made me see the game differently, gave me the freedom that I need as a playmaker, and to read my players, to know where everybody is at the exact time that I need them to be, to give the pass at the same time. So I think that he helped me a lot, and it was the right thing to do, to become a playmaker, not just a shooting guard.
Yes, it's always good
because I have the ball 90% of the time.
Exactly, but it's really good that you can also try something new, different positions and everything else, like you said, because of the perspective. But also I believe that it helps development of your game and yourself as a player and as a teammate. That's for sure. But when you were speaking about the coach who came from the male basketball to female basketball, what do you think about people training girls the way they do with the boys? Is this something you support, or is there something you would like to change about that? Because sometimes we do feel, when you see when people are commenting about, let's say, women's sports, they put comments that are really related to men's game, you know? So no matter the sport we speak about, it can be both basketball, football, really, it really doesn't matter. So how do you feel about that?
I will give you an example, because last year we had a male basketball coach, and this year we have a woman. So when you have a male basketball coach, it's all about discipline. It's all about playing hard, like play hard or go home. So it's very different, because women have more understanding. Like, she knows how to approach us, how to mentally approach us, sorry, which is more important when training women, because we don't just run. Like, we are more emotional, we're more sensitive than men. So when you have a male coach, he doesn't know that. When you make a mistake, he's just yelling. But when you have a woman, I mean, she's also yelling, and it's worse when a woman yells at you, because she knows just the right spot to hit.
Okay.
And she has such a loud voice. But she understands us. That's what I'm trying to say. So I think that when you're working with women players, like not just in basketball, you need to have a lot of knowledge in the psychological side of the sport, not just the tactical part.
That's true. And
because when you're a man, when you're a boy, like, if your coach yells at you, it motivates you. Like, you get nervous and you play. But when you're a woman, it affects you differently. Okay, it can motivate you. Like, you have women who, when you yell at them, it motivates them. But you have women, when you yell at them, they like close, or they feel pressure, and they can't show their true potential.
Yes, this is really something to think of. There are many researches on psychological part of the game and mental health of players. And when we speak about that topic, what are your what do you do on that point? How do you include the trainings on your let's say, on your brain, the way you do with your body? Like, what are your ways to deal with pressure, to deal with bad moments you have? Maybe there are some days where you are not into the mood to go to the gym or practice or something. What do you do then? Who are the people who you go to when you feel like, okay, I'm now cracking under the pressure, I need help, I need support, I need my environment and my system around me? What do you do?
Well, usually when I'm at my lowest, after a bad game, or it's just like a rough period with practices and school and everything, I always turn to my father. I always, like, he's my safe place. my mother also, but my father gets me more about the basketball part.
Of course.
My mom gets me why I'm upset, but when I tell her about basketball, she just doesn't get it. But when I tell my father, like, oh, I had a bad practice, I missed, I did something bad, he understands me and he knows what to tell me. So definitely my dad, even though he's a man and as I said, he doesn't get me all the time, I can still tell him everything and he can find a way to make me feel better.
Yes, it doesn't matter which gender the parent you go to is,
Yes.
because in the end, it's a parent. As you said, it's a safe place. It should be. I mean, not everybody is lucky as you are, as I am, to have that kind of support at home. So this is really something to always highlight, and also to maybe encourage those who are not in that situation to look up to maybe coach as a parent figure, if at home there is no safety for them. But speaking of being at lowest but still being super successful, I read recently, because I'm following now this topic around Clark and Kelsey Plum, about Clark reaching her record and Kelsey Plum being the
About
best
Caitlin.
in the college basketball. So when they asked Plum about how does she feel when now Clark is super close to break her record in university and college basketball, she was like, that point of my career when I reached those records was at the same time the lowest points of my career. So this means that even though you see a basketball player shooting the best, scoring some high numbers,
Shining, as we would say.
yes, exactly. When you see them, that doesn't mean that they're feeling super happy about it. It can also be the pressure. They just want to take it off. But you, as a young player who are obviously really successful because of winning all those MVP awards, being wanted at that young age by some clubs from the highest level. How do you feel about that? I mean, you're still super young, but you're also successful, and there is so much expectation from you, especially when we coming from the countries like North Macedonia. It means that you are probably going to be a role model for next generation of girls. So they're going to look up to you. So maybe there is no room for error because you're always going to be followed by them and used as an example. So how do you cope with all that?
Well, first of all, I always tell to myself that the next shot is the most important. Like, it doesn't matter if I missed or if I made a mistake. The next time I do it, I have to do it better. Like, that's the rule that I go by. It's okay to make a mistake, but try not to make it twice in a row, or just twice. About the role modeling that you said, I definitely have felt it when younger girl basketball players came up to me and was like, "Oh, Marija, can we take a picture? Like, we're so happy that we met you. We want to be like you," and wearing my jersey number. And I was like, I felt really good because it means so much to me that young girls are looking up to me, and that means that I'm doing something right.
Exactly.
So I most definitely want to be at my best, or even when I'm not at my best, just try not to be nervous, try to stay calm, and just show them how you handle all the situations differently, calmly. Don't yell, don't fall into like some messy place. Just try to stay calm.
Exactly. But when you speak about those girls who now look up to you, and all those girls who are going to even more look up to you, what would be the dream way of training them from your part? What would you change so that more girls are into basketball, that more girls enjoy basketball, or if there is anything you could literally do tomorrow to change the way how girls are being trained or treated, or what do you miss in basketball in North Macedonia, what that would be?
particularly in North Macedonia, boys and girls train together when they're young. So most definitely I would change that first, because you can train them equally when they're at that age. I mean, even not in my age, but definitely not when they're that young. So I would first separate them, and I would make a very fun gym for them. Like maybe something pink, like the floor could be pink, or maybe the basketball's pink, or the net can be pink. Like something to make it fun for them. Maybe a shooting machine, smaller baskets, because that's something eye-catching. Because for you to
Exactly.
like something, it needs to catch your eye. So I will definitely go for that, like mind games for them. And
I believe you also followed
you,
these qualifiers for the Olympic Games, or at least you read about results and so on.
yes.
But how are you satisfied with the way women basketball is being promoted? Is there anything you miss about it? Because even in this GSP podcast, I've been speaking about the fact that I was at the Eurobasket final in Ljubljana, the last final. I was there, and I was there also a little bit before for the handball European Championship for women back then, and I was kind of sad to see that basketball was really in a, let's say, it was organizing committee of that competition didn't do much about promoting. I mean, in the city of Ljubljana, you couldn't see anything that says, okay, we have a Eurobasket final for girls here. You should come, visit, support, and everything else. And this really made me sad, because I do know that women's basketball is being played on a really good and high level in Europe. So how do you feel about that? And what would you do maybe in that way to feel more recognized, or that you, let's say, raise awareness about your game?
I most definitely think that the boys and the girls don't get equal media attention. I will speak particularly in Macedonia, but it's like that in the whole world. Maybe not in America. They are on a bit of a higher level, but here in Europe, we are not equal, not even close. First, in Macedonia, we have like boys first league Instagram page, and they post highlights from games, best moves, MVP player of the round, top 5 players from the round, from the month. For us girls, there's nothing. There's not even one page that only talks about women's basketball. I don't understand why is that, because there are people who work at the federation that are paid to do that, and they don't do it. It's not like we don't have enough journalists or sports journalists. I don't know, maybe we're not that interesting, but I don't think that way, because now the Macedonian league is much stronger than last year. We have a lot of people from abroad, a lot of players that are from all around the world. And the league is very tough, and every game it's a matter of 1 or 2 points. So I don't know why we don't get them enough media attention that we deserve. I was shocked when you said in Ljubljana that there was not one like billboard or something that said Eurobasket.
No, in the city center, you couldn't see any, let's say, because, when there are European competitions, then you can see in the city like some fun zones and everything they do for the fans and for the families, everybody who's coming to the city for that. No, in Ljubljana, there was nothing related to Eurobasket, and I was really sad, because I felt that all the games that I watched there, I saw really high level of basketball. And I also, I was reading a lot of interviews from the players from the United States, especially, let's say, Brianna Stewart. She always says that her games was really influenced in a most positive way by playing in Europe. So even the best players from United States, who are, the best in the world, they also say that European basketball is something that helped them develop. And because of that, I feel like I was really disappointed and really sad. But we can see that this is also something happening in local level, because if you in North Macedonia have the same situation, like on the toppest European competition, then everything says about itself. But
Yes.
but people like you who are role models and really successful in what they're doing, you can really become the influencers of the game. And this is your chance, let's say like that.
Yes, it's like it starts from small steps. Like it doesn't have to be a big thing that I do, but I will most definitely want to do something about it. But I don't know. I think everyone here that has tried to do something, it just failed or they just quit. I don't know why is that. It's not that women's basketball is not fun to watch. It is fun. Like we may
Of
not be
course.
as athletic as boys. We not may jump as high or dunk or I don't know, but we're fun in a different kind of way. So I think that is worth watching. Like the Eurobasket games, they were all amazing games. I mean,
Yes, they were
top
really
players from all
spectacular.
around the world. Yes, so it really disappoints me when I just found out that there was nothing in Ljubljana.
No,
I'm still
no,
in shock.
no, trust
So
me, I was there.
when there's nothing in Ljubljana posted about Eurobasket, then what do we expect from the smaller leagues? Or
Exactly.
I don't
That's
know.
that's that's the point. I believe that there are some countries in Europe who are really taking care of that. But if I should count number of those countries, I'm afraid it would be like 5, 6, maximum 10. You know.
You can count them on one hand, probably.
Yes, yes, and that is something. But the potential is more higher than that, because basketball is really easy to play from both amateur and professional level, because on amateur level you just need a ball and you can go out with your friends and play basketball. On professional
Yes,
level you don't,
that
let's say, you don't need to rely on the weather outside, because you have a gym, you can play it inside. Then you have 3x3, so there are so many levels and so many options within basketball that you can use and have and progress and enjoy that sports. But in the end you see
yes.
that that's not the situation. But there is a really good buzz about basketball being a good sport to practice and connect with your academic career, which a lot of athletes are doing. So how this movement to Spain is going to affect your plans towards school, for example? Are you going to continue doing
Uh,
something on that?
yes, I want to continue doing basketball and school like parallel. I don't want to separate the one from the other because I'm a woman. And as we know, women are very much underpaid than men. So I can't rely on basketball for all my life. I need to do something with my life after basketball. Like I will play, I don't know, like 20 to 26, 27. And then well, personally, now I would like to become a mother. I would like to have a family. I can still play, but we know that we can expect much from basketball as much as the salaries. So when I go to Valencia, I want to go to the University of Valencia and study multimedia and design, particularly graphic design.
This is really a
So
good move.
that's the plan for now.
Yes, and I
Yes,
hope you're going to stick to that plan, because you can also become an
yes,
example on that matter, where you actually showed how the dual career works from the beginning. And this is really a message
yes,
I would like to take from here, where actually you can do anything you set your mind to,
yes.
because
For now, it's working.
yes, and I
Doing
don't
them
see
both.
why it
For now,
wouldn't.
it's working.
I don't see why it won't work in the future for somebody who is this determined like you are, and this is really something you should follow this path and way you are doing now. And it was beyond pleasure to speak to you today, because I had a chance to discuss this world of women's sports with a really, let's say, talented young lady who is really know her path. You're so much into it, and this is really something to be amazed for. So really good luck in Spain.
Thank
Mucha
you very
suerte.
much.
Mucha suerte, like they would say.
I will learn the language.
Yes, and I can't wait to watch and to see you in some future, if not Eurobasket, then EuroLeague games and everything else. And really, really thank you for your time.
Thank you for your invitation, and thank you for this amazing conversation that we had. I think we shared some amazing experiences, and I definitely learned something new. That
and
there wasn't an ad about Eurobasket.
We're going to use a lot of messages from here to promote over any way of media we can find, to promote a lot of things you said, because you really gave a good insights and good propositions on what to do in the future to support more girls while we are reimagining our playing field. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. All the best. I wish you all the best.
Big shout out to European Union for co-financing this project as a part of the cooperation partnership in field of sports.